Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a get ready with me for you. I primed my face using Benefit's Professional, and I quickly used Match Perfection by Rimmel London as my foundation with a drop of L'Oreal's Lumi Magique just to add some illumination, and I blended all of that in with my beauty blender. Onto concealer, I used Collection's Lasting Perfection concealer, and I just placed triangles under my eyes just to highlight that area, and then down my nose to sort of highlight the bridge of my nose and any blemishes that I had at the time, and across my forehead. Then I blended all of that in with my beauty blender. I love using my beauty blender because it just gives such a flawless finish and you don't get any brush marks. Next up, I'm using Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer. I didn't like this bronzer when I first started using it, but I've really warmed to it lately. I think you have to get through the first layer for it to be a bit more pigmented, and it is really good for fair skin, so I quite like it. I'm just using this with a Real Techniques face brush just to warm up my skin tone slightly. Next, I'm using Maybelline's Master Sculpt Contour and Highlight, and I'm using that with a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I just apply that to my cheekbones, like just under my cheekbones, to sort of contour them and make them a little bit more exaggerated. Then I'm also using that along my jawline just to make that a bit more pronounced. Also across my temples and down the sides of my nose. I really love this contour. I spoke about it in my previous video, I think, and I've really been loving it. It's really fantastic. Next up, I'm using Rimmel London's blush in, I think it's called Pink Rose, and I'm using Real Techniques Duo Fibre Face Brush to apply that. This is a really lovely natural blush. Next, I'm using Revolution's Vivid Highlighter, and I think that's a Real Techniques Duo Fibre Contour brush, but I might be wrong. And I'm just using that on the high points of my cheeks just to add a bit of light there. And down the centre of my nose just to highlight there as well. And then I like to apply some to my finger and just put that on my cupid's bow of my lips and just underneath, just to make them look slightly fuller. You'll get the true effect at the end when I apply lipstick. Onto eyebrows, I'm using Sleek's eyebrow pencil in medium, but I'm just using the spoolie end there just to brush them out. And then that's Maybelline's Brow Satin in Red Mahogany. I'm just using the pencil end just to add some colour and a bit more of a waxy base for the powder that I'm going to use next. The powder I'm using is Makeup Academy's Pro Brow Kit, I think, and it's the darker colour. I'm just using that on a winged eyeliner brush by Avon, but I find that it works much better for eyebrows. And as you can see, I try and make the top of my eyebrow straight across and then the tail slightly slanted down, just to give my eyebrows a little bit more shape, because mine are kind of just one dimensional, and I like to have a little bit of an arch in my eyebrows, so I try and recreate that. I also have very sparse hairs at the front of my eyebrows, so I just kind of brush them upwards, as you can see there, and just add in a little bit of colour just to make them look a little bit more full. I think eyebrows are what I am worst at, and I'm trying really hard to get better at them, but I think it's just one of those things that you have to keep practicing at. Here I've done both eyebrows and now I'm just trying to match them up, but I don't want them to be exactly the same because they're sisters, not twins. Next I'm using Maybelline's Brow Drama Mascara, well, eyebrow mascara, in transparent. You can get coloured versions, but I have the clear version. And I like to just use this to brush through after I finished. Next I'm using Maybelline's Nude eyeshadow palette, and I'm using none of the eyeshadows have names unfortunately, so I can't tell you the names, but just using the really light base colour with a Geofiber eyeshadow brush by Real Techniques. Then I'm dipping into this really milky chocolatey metallic colour with a fluffy brush, and this is a Real Techniques eyeshadow brush. I'm just applying that all over the lid for base colour and blending that out with that Geofiber brush so that there's no harsh lines. And the same on the other eye. I really like this palette, but there's like one colour, I think it's the really dark brown colour, which I absolutely love, but I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to it because whenever I wear that colour, it's the one underneath the one I'm pointing to there, it brings my eyes out really red and like my eyes just won't stop watering whenever I wear it. So I seem to be okay with the other ones. Like this gold colour I'm using here is gorgeous, but it just seems to be that dark brown. I think I just have an allergic reaction to it. And then again, I'm just blending that out with that Geofiber brush. Next up, I'm just taking that brown colour that we started off with, and I'm just running that underneath my eyes using a brush by Avon. Then I am tight lining with a black eyeliner from Avon. I'm curling my eyelashes with an eyelash curler by Cosmopolitan. And the mascara I'm using is Benefit's Roller Lash, which I am absolutely in love with. It just gives a really fluttery lash effect. It's really natural looking and it's a great everyday mascara. It's not cheap though. You can definitely find cheaper alternatives. Here I'm using Maybelline's The 4Cs, which is a great alternative, on my bottom eyelashes. For lips, I'm using Max Factor's, I think it's Elixir lip liner in the colour Brown and Nude. I'm just using that to line my lips. I like to slightly overdraw my Cupid's bow and just underneath on my bottom lip, but very slightly. Only because I have quite thin lips and not very pigmented lips around the edges. Then I'm using Revlon's Lip Lacquer Balm, I think it's called, Lacquer Balm, in the colour Demure. This is really gorgeous. I've really been loving this lip colour.